Hello, and we're out on another wee jaunt. This time to the World Champion Stone Skimming Championships in Easdale, near Oban, about 15 miles from Oban, where I live. Won't be much of a World Championship this year because of COVID. It'll be quite quiet, but it's a nice day and well worth coming out and having a look. So that bridge that you see behind me is called the Bridge over the Atlantic because technically it is. The mainland over there, mainland Scotland, onto the Isle of Easdale, where I am standing at the moment. The bridge itself, I think, was built in 1740 something, and it's always been a bit of a local feature around these parts. Just looking around a wee bit, we've got that building over there, which is an old inn, which is where people used to apparently change when the wearing of tartan was banned after the Jacobite rebellions. People would wear what they were allowed to wear in the mainland, and as soon as they were back over here they'd nip in there and change back into their more favoured garb, whether it was tartan trews or a kilt or whatever it would be. Lovely day. I'm just out, I'm not walking this one. Quite a nice walk actually, might consider it one day, but just out here with my Hungarian friend Robbie, who's just naffed off somewhere. Maybe he's a bit camera shy. We'll get him on camera later, and we'll push on down to the slate quarries. Oh, I'll just talk about that while I'm doing this. These are the Slate Islands, and they used to be kind of one of the world's biggest exporters of slate. Some of the slate here pops up in places like Melbourne, Dunedin in New Zealand, quite a few other world locations, and it was functioning. There was about 7 different quarries employing about 2,000 people until about 1850, when there was apparently a horrendous storm and most of the quarries flooded, and that was more or less the end of that. But there was maybe a little bit still going, because the last quarry I think closed in 1950. But the quarries now are water filled, which makes them a perfect place for stone skimming championships. So we'll see what there is to see today. It's not going to be as international as it usually would be, but don't know how busy it'll be, and we'll need to try and keep a social distancing thing. So let's go and have a look. Wave, Robbie.
No, video.
There's no. So, nice wee view from here. We're on the Isle of Seil and we're looking over there at the Isle of Easdale. Quite pretty. And then a whole lot of nothing past that, more or less, until you hit Canada. The island in the background there is Mull, the south end of Mull. Anyway, let's go forward and see what we can find. And so, on Seil Island, this is the village of Elenabich, or Elenabich. That pronunciation will be totally wrong because it was actually my Hungarian friend who told me what the village was called. So from Gaelic to Hungarian to English. But let's have a wee pan around because it is really quite pretty. We're planning on going up that hill. Lots of there's a whole row there of little cottages which would have been for the slate miners. Very low, so you wouldn't expect tall people. Well, if you were a tall person, you're going to bump your head quite a lot. Still a wee bit of old machinery. And you can see over there actually there's a lot of slate just going into the sea. Should really be doing this with the other camera. It's nice. It's a good day for it, which I guess is why we're here today.
the wrong place. I thought we are there. I was looking for Easdale and nowhere.
It's alright, it's a hell of a view.
We should be there.
Well, we'll go there then.
Here's a beautiful gap. See?
Oh yeah. Tell your story.
And there was a cave on the. There is a cave on the island, and an old man used to live there, and he only came to the mainland to shopping, like very few times a week or a month. But as far as I know, he already dead. But still, a lot of his rubbish are there. An old iron stove and stuff, and rubbish.
Oh well, when I finally get my kayak, maybe I'll paddle over and have a look. In fact, I'll just borrow the other one from Jane, and we can both paddle over and have a look
Next summer.
next summer. Yeah. Aye, this is nice. Let's see if we can get up there though. That'd be good. Well, it would appear from looking at the Isle of Easdale that there is nothing happening in the stone skimming side of things today. So it looks like the attempts to organise a local event have come to naught. Probably quite sensibly, given the times that we live in. But it's not been a wasted journey. Nice wee climb. I'm going to pan around the view a wee bit because it's quite spectacular. Yeah. So this is Seil. You can see the mainland behind, a wee bit of water in between. The road on the other side there will take you down to Loch Gilphead. Well, there's more interesting places to get to than Loch Gilphead, to be fair. Moving round. Could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure that island centre shot's Jura. The one behind it's Isla. I might be wrong with that. I really need a map to be able to check that. Then we've got a couple of others that I simply don't know. The one right in the centre shot is Easdale. You see the lifeboats down there. And that light blue, I'm going to try and pan here. I'm going to lose the colour though, probably. And that light blue, well it's light blue to me, it's probably grey to you at this magnification. That pond there, long and straight, used to be a quarry obviously, and that's what they use for the stone skimming championships. Pan back, I usually forget to do that. There's a wee boat crossing there, that might be the ferry, probably is. We're parked kinda down there. You can see a very regimented layout of those buildings because they were clearly built for the slate workers. That entire bay there would have been sealed off and would have been a very deep quarry. Some of the quarries were, I believe, 90 metres below sea level. So that wouldn't be a very fun place to be if the sea breaks through. See another one over there. And obviously a couple over in Easdale there. So aye, it's quite the view. No stone skimming championships, but it's been a good opportunity to get out and go for a wee bit of a climb. Just a couple of days after I got back from the Great Glen. But feet are feeling good. and it won't do me any harm to keep up the exercise. Just gotta follow my friend Robbie up the hill there and see what there is to see. So we've reached the highest point on whatever this hill is. I'll check that and I'll stick it in text. It's not going to be a bend something because we're not that high up, but this does show that you don't need to climb the Munros to get some killer views. So what we're looking at, centre shot, that island, in the middle ground is Kerrera. If I was going to zoom in a lot, I would probably be able to show you the castle there, but we'll do that another day. You can see if I zoom, you can see a Calmac ferry in the distance. That's probably headed for Mull. The island, low-lying island directly behind it is Lismore, which kind of points right up the Great Glen to Fort William and then to Inverness. Pretty much in a direct line the way that island runs. Behind that we've got Morven, which is peninsula, it's the mainland. Going over here a bit, kind of looks like we've got two different islands, but we don't. Well, we do. I was meaning the one in the background. The one in the foreground is Inch. It's one of the Slate Islands as well. So, not sure if there was much quarrying done there, but that's the one that Robbie was talking about that had its own hermit. In the background there we've got Mull. Mull's a big island. It's called Britain in miniature because if you really stretch your imagination and you look at a map of Mull, you can just about torture it into the shape of Great Britain. Biggest hill that you're going to see there is Benmore, which, as I'm fond of pointing out, means big hill in Gaelic. Certain lack of imagination there, I feel. Quite a number of Benmore scattered about. But, you know, when they asked people, what's that hill called? Most people probably didn't leave their village, or they didn't go much more than a few miles beyond their village. So the big hill was the big hill. And they didn't know very many other big hills. So it kind of makes sense. Somebody down there enjoying the wind. When I worked in Mull a good number of years ago, we used to call them waffies, which stands for wind assisted fucking idiot. But to be fair, a lot of them are actually really nice people. Now we're going to go around there. Probably can't see it. I don't think we'll be able to see it because it should be round that headland over there. But you'll get Iona, which is still a very Christian community. One of the homes of the Celtic Church. There's a lot of history about Iona. It's got its own abbey and good place to visit. Quite a spiritual place. Although I'm not of a Christian leaning, it's still a very spiritual place. Going round, I would have to check the map to see what these wee guys are. And then we're back to what I was talking about, which is kind of Dura and Isla. Over there is, I think, the biggest, could be the second biggest, but I think it's the biggest whirlpool in Scotland, in Europe, sorry, called the Corryvreckan. Bit of a navigational nightmare, but apparently quite good fun if you've got a good boat and a good skipper. You can look it up. Plenty of YouTube stuff about the Corryvreckan. Yeah, and then just panning round a bit here. And I'm basically doing 360 from where we are. All the way around to where we were over there again. It's a hell of a view. So yeah, good place to come. It's not that far from Glasgow, take about 2 hours to get here. It's only 15 miles from Oban, so Oban's a good base if you're coming. Yeah, it's been a good wee walk today. It's not been a long walk. Only took us 40 minutes or so to get up here, maybe a bit less. When in Rome. clearly I need more practice. Bit of a rest stop for the driver. So that's where we climbed. Good view from up there. And that might be about it for Seil and Easdale. Lovely wee place to get to and have a wander around though. You can see over there where that blue fence is, that's the Oyster Inn. Been there for lunch before, we're not stopping today. But yeah, good food, friendly staff, and a good outside view on a day like this as well, so not a bad place to stop. And that's the ferry from the Isle of Seil to the Isle of Easdale, such as it is. Not getting a lot of cars on that one. There's a lot of very noisy crows up there, big bunch of them.
Check though.
So yeah, there's a gang of crows, that'll be Corvid 19.